Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 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 Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, hello, Cash. Cash, if you can type back at me, let me know. Can you hear me okay? How's the audio? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, excellent. I'm going to turn up. I have a two-channel. Hi, Cash. I have a two-channel wireless mic system. So the other one is on the external speaker. So I'm going to turn that up.
The New Providence Amateur Radio Club Sunday Night Net.
Cash, tell me how that how it sounds coming out of my radio.
Okay, nothing heard. Well, Sam, I can hear you quite nicely on the input on the 440 side and a few others too, so maybe my antenna just is better on the 440 side. I do have a dual bander, but I use that.
Okay, good. So I just switched over to the 440 side of the W2LI. Okay, so this officially starts in 1 minute.
Just drop it.
So I'm going to turn that down. And I am going to minimize this. I'm going to monitor myself over here. And hopefully I won't get too confused about what we're doing. Hey, Chris. All right, good to see you. Good. Audio is good. Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, we got Chris and Cash. And we're going to start up in just about another 30 seconds. Thank you all for joining. Hey guys, if you wouldn't mind, hit the subscribe button on this channel. That helps me out. No obligation. You will not be receiving any phone calls asking about your car's extended warranty. But if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and that would be fantastic. I'm going to turn this camera a little bit because it's going to be me for a while, and the lighting is awful. Okay, good. And here we are. It's 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll just give it another 20 or 30 seconds. My name is Joe, Whiskey Alpha 2 Juliet Oscar Echo. I'm in Freehold Township, New Jersey. I've been an amateur radio operator for about 7 years, not that long, but did a bunch of shortwave listening back in the day, back in college. And it's great having everybody with us. And if you haven't already, it would be great if you hit the subscribe button for this channel. There's no obligation. You won't get any notifications, but it does help me with the channel. That's about it. This is one of many YouTube channels that I have for various and sundry purposes. So we're going to get started because we've got a lot to talk about. I'm just going to wait for it to hit the top of the hour. And I'm going to start by giving you a tour of my shack. So, all right, good. Good to have everybody here with us. My name is Joe, Whiskey Alpha 2 Juliet Oscar Echo. Feel free to chime in on the chat side to the right of the video, and I will get to your questions and will acknowledge you. So let's see. I wanted to do this because the United Counties Traffic Net is a training net, and I thought, especially since the pandemic, video streaming has really taken off. And YouTube makes it very easy for us to stream, far easier than even a year or two ago. You don't need any special software. You just need the permission set on your channel. And that's where the subscribers come in. It unlocks certain functionality on the channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by giving you a tour. Hey, Jeff, good to hear from you. I'm going to give you a tour of the shack and show you a little bit so you can visualize what's going on here. My shack is very humble. Okay. I know there are those of you out there that have walls of beautiful equipment, maybe some Drake or Collins. I'm just not there. It's very bare bones. This is a first floor office in our house in Freehold. This half is mine. The other half is my wife's, my YL, Karen. She made me promise that I wouldn't show her side. And I even cleaned up my side just a little bit. So let's get started. So it's going to get a little rough here with the camera work, but I'm just going to take this camera and try and give you an overview of my shack. Okay, and that's about as far as the cord goes. So I bet the first thing you're all wondering is about the ham gear. So this is it. This is an ICOM 7300, the People's Radio. Have had that for just 2 or 3 years. I love it. I had an FT 891 before that, and I got that for 2 reasons. One is it was inexpensive, and I could take it out into the field very easily. The 891 is now my POTA, my Parks on the Air radio. Those of you who know me know that I'm really big into Parks on the Air, so that's in a travel case. And then above it, here is the Kenwood TMV 71. The very first radio I got was an FT60, a Yaesu FT60 HT. And it was on that radio I made my very first contact. Some of you may remember Drake, W2HTZ. He's a silent key now, but I was in my living room and keyed up on the, on the K2GE repeater, which is not far from me up in Sayreville, and he came back. He was my very first contact, and Drake was really good about that. I did end up getting a mag mount antenna, and I actually, in the early days, ran the net when I was a net controller several years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, on this radio and a mag mount antenna. And I might even still have my notebook with my logs in it. But anyway, so this is the TMV 71, which I love, and I've also got one in my car, and this really needs to focus. There we go. So as you know, it's a 2-sided radio, so what's going on here is usually on this side, I am scanning local repeaters, and this is what it does in the car also. The reason I bought 2 of these was because, first of all, between here and the car, there was no additional learning curve, and also the programming that I did here before I got the mobile radio, I could very easily transfer the file into that car radio. So I didn't need to reinvent the wheel. And so I kind of programmed this as if it were in the car. This side is scanning local police, fire, and EMS. So you can see here's the W2LI, that's the 440 side. Hey, Jeff, there's your repeater. And Chris, there's the repeater I spoke to you on earlier tonight. I put mnemonics in there to remember the NJ Aries repeater. That's the one up in, where is it? Not Summit. I can't remember. But anyway, this thing needs to focus better. But anyway, okay, K2MID. There's a repeater that you may remember. NJ5R W2LI. K2GE 2-meter 440. That's Sayreville, Middletown, Belmar. Although it's not really Belmar. That's part of the W2NJR system. And then, of course, W2GSA, that's my local club. And I love this because it's very easy for me to QSY back and forth. So I'm going to leave it on the W2LI 440 side for now. That's where I'm going to run the net. And we'll keep this side turned down. Sometimes what I'll do is put, some of the other, like Manasquan or some of the other network link repeaters on there just as a backstop. I love to be able to monitor and hear what's going on. So anyway, and then let's just back up here. So I'm blessed. I have 2 computers, okay, and 3 monitors, okay? And then, so that large monitor is driven by this computer. It's an MSI. I do graphics editing on it, and it does really well. So the way I'll set myself up, because this is a UCTN training net, is the first thing we want to do is I use the spreadsheet that Paul, K2PDZ, set up for us, and he did a fantastic job. This is really slick. There's a huge database of stations and names and locations, and really all you have to do is put the suffix in there, and it will pull from a database. So what happens is this screen will actually go up here on the big monitor. And that's what I'm spending most of my time looking at. So I am going to do Control N for new, and see, it just gave me a brand new sheet within this workbook. And if you can see, it's got today's date on it. Okay. And so for those of you who are out there looking, sometimes when you hear us say, oh, you're new to me, I don't have you in my log. You may have checked in on somebody else's net, a night or two or three ago, and you're wondering, well, why don't I have you in my log? It's because each person's log is local. We're not quite there yet. In order to have a database in the cloud that we can all access. But for now, it's local to each one of us. And so when you check into MyNet tonight and you're new to me, that's why you'll hear me, or any other operator for that matter, say, oh, you're new to me, welcome to the net, so forth and so on. And what I'll do is, while we're taking check-ins or while we're passing traffic, is I will move over to the database side. And as I scroll, you can see there's everybody's names. And there's like, where are we? We're at 664 records here on this database. And so what I'll do is I'll add it in. And that's what each operator is doing locally on their computer. And then every once in a while, we send everything into Paul. He aggregates everything together, all the changes, sends it back to us, and then that's our new database. And that's how we keep up. Paul has done an absolutely fantastic job. I can't say enough. This thing is slicker than snot and is very, very helpful. And so what happens is as we take check-ins, oh, there's my alarm. There's my alarm giving me a beautiful 70s song, okay, to remind me to do the net. This goes up. All right. A little Steve Miller Band there you may recognize. That's for you, Jeff. Okay. Mount Freedom. Okay, I'm just checking the comments now. Chris, yeah, Chris has a very similar history. First time was on a Baofeng, very good. Mount Freedom, yeah, that's that one up north. And yeah, the V71, Chris, it's analog only. And it's a teeny tiny bit pricey, but I find it very intuitive, easy to program, and easy to operate. Yeah, get that thing fixed, man. It's worth every penny, as I'm sure you're aware. So anyway, as we enter in stations, so let's see. This was the last net that I did, which was on the 20th of February. What happens is it puts them all in this block right here. And then what I do is I do my net reports by email. So I just copy this, okay? I highlight all these guys. It's gone a little weird on me here, but let me just X out of that. Okay. So if I go here, so what I'm going to do is I will just highlight these, right click, copy, and then these are all the stations that checked in, and I will just copy those into an email to Kim, with a little bit of a header, how long the net was, how many messages, how many check-ins, so forth and so on, and send that to her. So that's how the logging works. And then what I'll do down on this computer is I will actually get QRZ going. And let's do that here. So that's first going to be here, qrz.com. And I'm going to drag this down here, okay, down to this screen. Let me just grab this. Got to watch what I'm doing. Okay, so I'll keep QRZ here, okay? And that way, if someone checks in who I don't know, that gives me the place to go get their name, what town they're from, their county if necessary. And so that sits there. Now I'm just going to set this down just for a second. Oh, you got some video feedback there. Isn't that cool? Okay. Now I'm going to, so actually, let me just switch over here so you can see a little bit of my office. Now over here on this file cabinet, I have this magnetic clip, and this has a couple of scripts. So here's the United Counties traffic net. Net logger instructions for a different net on HF that I do every once in a while, and the Monmouth Aries Races net which we haven't done in a good long time. So what I do is, this is my script for tonight, and I just set this up right here like that. So that's like, it's on the podium. Okay, and this is something I'm very used to. I do this every Sunday. So, and then up here will be my log. So let me go back to the log. Yeah, let me bring up Excel. Whoops. Hold on, let me just get QRZ going. Good. And let me get the log, and there is that. Okay, so to give you an overview of my operating position. Okay, so on the right, I've got my radio. Here's my hand mic. Okay. And then this laptop running QRZ on the lower screen with my script in front of me. And then up here is my log. And I am going to go to, whoops. See, this is a touch screen, so it goes a little weird on me. Let me just get this fixed. Okay. And then 3523. Okay. So here's my blank slate for this tonight's net. Here is my script. Okay. And then now what I do over here on this laptop over on my left is I start up Echolink. So I'm big on monitoring. I'm big on keeping an eye on all the various links. This goes back to my days doing broadcast television news. I worked at a TV station in Boston. I worked for CBS News. So I like to be able to monitor. I want to see what's going on. I can't monitor DMR, but so I'm going to get the Echolink going here, and so I can see this. Now let's see. So I can see this. Okay, so the audio is a little complicated. So let me do this. I am going to mute this. Okay. Okay, so as those of you who use Echolink know, this bar down here, I can just glance over and see the audio. I get the presence, as we call it. So I know that there's the connection. That's the and so that's the main thing, is just being able to visually verify the connection between the W2NJR link system and Echolink. And so that's what this does for me. So we've got about 30 seconds for the net. So I'm going to set this up, and because it takes a second to, whoops. So bear with me. It's going to get a little rocky here for a second. Okay.
Elmar 400, connectors up to Wazoo.
Okay. And make that go quiet. Okay, here we go. Okay, oh, and by the way, lots of clocks, okay? Big on clocks. You definitely want to start on time. And I am late.
Actually use that stuff. HOA, so I'm stuck to whatever I can make in my attic. So I really don't need a base station. I was thinking about getting a mobile HF.
Okay, so some people are still talking here. So
Well, just about selling my HF station. It's 200 watts, but I still have things coming. But yeah, if you're into HF.
okay, so I'm not sure.
Whatever you're into, I got it.
Yes, this is live to the person who asked.
Unload stuff.
I'm not sure if this is still the club or if it's our folks. Okay, here we go. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Calling UCTN, calling the United Counties Traffic Net. This is Whiskey Alpha 2, Juliet Oscar Echo, your net control for this evening. And it is Sunday, March 5th, 2023. My name is Joe, and I'm located in Freehold Township, New Jersey. Any stations with emergency or priority traffic, please call in now. Okay. So I always like to wait for that carrier to drop. Just give it a good moment. This net meets every evening at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the W2LI repeater system, the W2NJR linked system, DMR talk group 31333, and on Echolink via W2NJR-R. This net is part of the ARRL National Traffic System. Its purpose is passing third-party traffic into, out of, and within the New Jersey area. UCTN is a directed net. Please do not interrupt the net unless you have emergency traffic or an emergency requiring the use of the repeater system. All communications must come through net control, and tonight that's me. If you need to secure, that is leave early, prior to net closing, please inform me, your net control station. UCTN is also a training net. All licensed amateurs are welcome and encouraged to participate regardless of experience level. All Echolink stations are asked to connect via W2NJR-R as that station is considered the UCTN hub. All operators are reminded to check in under the appropriate call-up or under one of the general call-ups should you miss the call-up for your type of station. Break, more to follow. I've found this to be a very good place to break. It gives an opportunity for the repeater to reset. It gives me a chance to take a sip of water. And it also gives a chance in case there's any breaking stations. When checking in, please use the following format. Give my call, WA2JOE, unkey for a moment to make sure you're not doubling with other stations, then key up and allow a moment for the links to come up, then announce your own call sign, your name, your location, and whether or not you are holding traffic. At this time, we're looking for stations with traffic and traffic only. Any stations holding traffic for the United Counties Traffic Net, please call WA2JOE and list your traffic.
WA2JOE, here is K2ASE, currently portable in Kenilworth with one routine for St. Francis, Minnesota.
W2LI repeater.
Okay, so that was Ashley.
WA2JOE.
Okay, got a little doubling there. See if you guys can sort this out.
W3CJD, Chris from Denville.
CJD.
Good evening all. Listing one routine for KC2AES. If he checks in, I can take second region unless someone else wants it. Definitely weird hearing myself through RF and then through your live stream a few seconds later.
Okay. Yeah. Turn down your radio, Chris. So what I'm doing is I'm typing these in, and I'm typing in what the traffic is as we go along.
W2JOE. Good evening. Charles Kilo 2, Mike Julie Foxtrot. I'm listing 142RN.
Okay, so that's an abbreviation I never heard, 142RN. I am assuming that means second region. Okay, so we've got traffic that I've noted in the comments section of the log. All right, the net has three pieces of traffic. Actually two for second region. Fletch, I assume that your abbreviation is second region. And one going to KC2AES should they show up. Ashley, Chris, and Fletch, you can consider yourselves checked into the net. Thank you so much for bringing traffic. Before we go any further, Chris, I think you said you would take the second region traffic. Does that mean you'll take Ashley's and Fletch? Please come back.
W3CJD, affirmative. I can take both unless someone else checks in who can take second region, then I'm happy to spread the load.
Okay, very good. The net is holding three pieces of traffic, two for second region, one for KC2AES. Is there anyone on the net right now other than Chris who would like to take second region traffic? And let's get you locked in there, and then we'll go on with our check-ins. So what I'm trying to do is because
WA2JOE, KD2, VZA, Heather and Summit. I can also take a piece of second region. Back to you. I had no traffic myself.
Okay, so now what I've done is basically I've gotten all the traffic spoken for, and I like to do that early because this is when most of the people are there. I try to run a tight net. I try to stick to the script. You know, I get friendly, but I also really want to keep things moving because it's late. Go ahead, Fletch.
WA2JOE, Kilo 2, Mike Juliet, Foxtrot. Correction, my 2RN traffic is local for Secaucus. Apologies for that, Joe.
Okay, very good, Fletch. Duly noted. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to ask Heather to take Ashley's second region traffic. And then we still have two pieces of traffic, one station-specific KC2 AES and one for Secaucus. So what I'm going to do is start getting some check-ins done here, and we'll be asking if anyone can take Secaucus and if KC2 AES shows up. Please stand by one. So you can't really see this that well on the screen, but what I'm doing is as I check in, I highlight it in red, and that shows me the end of that group of check-ins. Okay, and I'll show that to you again as we go along. The net is currently holding three pieces of traffic, one for second region, one for Secaucus, and one station specific. So what I'd like to do is our first check-in. This will be for mobile and portable stations. Any mobile or portable stations with or without traffic, please call WA2JOE and your net control station. Kind of lost it there a little bit. So first will be
WA2JOE.
Billy's always first. So one thing that Kim told me when I first started doing this
WA2JOE, please copy. Kilo Delta 2, Juliet Romeo.
is that you'll start to recognize the voices. You'll know the voice. You'll know who it is before they even give their call. And she was absolutely right. And so you just learn the voices.
WA2JOE.
Okay. And then you also, people tend to come in the same order.
WA2JOE, please copy. Kilo Delta 2, Papa Lima Romeo. KD2,
There's
DLR,
Gary.
Gary. Portable and Union. No traffic. Good evening, Joe, and all net.
Yeah, it's kind of like in church, everyone always sits in the same place. People tend to check in the same order in the net.
WA2JOE.
Jack, Jersey City.
This is Kilo Charlie 2, Papa Delta Oscar. Jack, Jersey City, portable. No traffic.
Net control. Net control, please copy Kilo Delta 2 Tango Foxtrot Whiskey. That's KD2 TFW Mike from Staten Island, portable. I have no traffic. Good evening to you and to all net.
And the drink of choice in this shack is Polar Seltzer. You want
WA2JOE.
to be, there's Jeff, be able to wet your whistle.
WA2JOE, please copy Kilo Zulu 2 Golf. Jeff and Brick with no traffic.
WA2JOE. WA2JOE, please copy Kilo 2 Zulu Zulu Oscar Bob and Caldwell. No traffic. Back to net control.
All right, so now I got my fingers on the keyboard. Just waiting for folks to check in. Somebody tried to get in there, but I couldn't get them. All right, so now there appears to be a break, so I'm going to highlight that line in my log and make it red. That's the end of that segment. All right, hold it right there, stations. Hold it right there. And one of the things Ed, WA2NDA, taught me is leave a good long pause after you hold them up. All right, excellent call up. Thank you, folks. It's good to have you all with us tonight. The net is currently holding three pieces of traffic, one second region, one station specific, and one for Secaucus. Before we go on, I'd like to recognize the following stations. KD2JRI, Billy in Scotch Plains. Billy's our Friday night net controller. Good to have you with us tonight. KD2PLR, Gary in Union. KC2PDO, Jack, Jersey City checking in, followed by KD2TFW, Mike in Staten Island. Hey, Jeff, KZ2 Golf, calling in from Brick. Good to hear from you. And K2ZZO, Bob in Caldwell. Before we go on, the second region traffic has been accounted for. We've got station specific waiting for KC2AES to show up. Is there anyone who will take a piece of traffic for Secaucus? Anyone will take traffic for Secaucus, please call WA2JOE. So I really want to get the traffic assigned. I want to get it locked in.
Kilo, Yankee 2, Mike. I have no traffic. I'll take Secaucus.
Okay, excellent. All right, excellent. Thank you, Kim. Just sit tight, and we're going to pass that traffic in just a few minutes. Consider yourself checked in. Kilo Yankee 2, Mike. Kim is our net manager. Thank you, Kim, for raising up the best bunch of net controllers and net participants around. All we're going to go on and do our Echolink check-in. Any Echolink stations. And now you guys know the routine. Take a look at your screens. Start at the top, work your way down. Skip the repeaters, skip me. And then when we get to the end, just say that you are the last person. Any Echolink stations with or without traffic, please call WA2JOE. So now I'm going over to look at, and normally Echolink would just be up here all the time, but I'm monitoring YouTube.
WA2JOE. Please copy. Whiskey 2, Quebec Mike India. W2QMI. Suzanne from Oldbridge. No traffic. Good evening, Joe, and everyone on the net.
Sounds like Suzanne might be listening to the live stream. So I'm watching the Echolink stream. I want to see who's checking in. I want to verify the connection. So like I say, this is just monitoring.
Frank, County, Florida. And all that.
So Frank did a really good job because he remembered that Ashley had already checked in.
WA2JOE, please copy Whiskey 2, Bravo, Sierra Alpha, WW2,
Boy Scouts of America. Okay.
Hackettstown, New Jersey, Warren County. No traffic for the night. Good evening to you, Joe, and everyone else. And I am requesting early secure tonight, please.
Okay, so now I'm going to make a note over here in the comments. Just I'm going to type early.
WB2GZL.
And hopefully I'll actually remember to see it. GZL checking in.
Good evening, Joe. And good evening to the net.
Okay. So for the most part, I'm focused on my log and my script. That's the main thing. And every once in a while, verifying the connection between Echolink and the RF net. Okay, Ashley has typed me a text, says she did check in on RF, but she's in this call.
Please copy.
Yeah, she was already.
Kilo Charlie 3, Delta Zulu Golf, Avanti and East Orange, no traffic. I think Danny, WBOI, is trying to get on. Should be the last person on Echolink. Connect control.
Okay, so I just typed a little chat note to Danny saying, go ahead, Danny. Because we see him in there and he came in late and he may be having trouble. Okay, Danny does seem to have trouble each night. So we're just going to keep going on. So now I'm going to highlight the last station in red. So I know that's the end of that group. Okay, very good. Excellent check-in. Thank you, folks. Danny, WD0Y, I'm going to get you checked in. I see you there. I know you have trouble with your connection some night. Danny, in Livermore, consider yourself checked in. Just a reminder, folks, if you are monitoring the live stream on YouTube, that's great. Good to have you. But as they used to say, turn down your radio, turn down the audio on that live stream, especially while you're on the air to avoid that echo. The net would like to acknowledge the following stations, all with no traffic. W2QMI, Suzanne in Old Bridge, followed by KC2CSU. Frank, down in sunny Citrus County, Florida. Frank's been with us for over 25 years. Frank, we sure do appreciate your faithfulness on this net. It's great to have you with us tonight. WW2BSA, Chris in Hackettstown. Chris, you may secure at will. Thanks for checking in tonight. WB2GZL, Jerry in Lincoln Park. Jerry's another one of our net controllers, Wednesday night, I think it is, and it's good to have you with us tonight, Jerry. And finally, KC3DZG, DZ Golf Avanti, got you on the list. And we are also going to acknowledge WB0Y Danny, who I see is on the list, but might be having some trouble getting checked in. So we'll get you on the list. Okay, so now we're going to do our DMR stations. Any DMR stations with or without traffic, please call WA2JOE, your net control station. Well, it's like twice as much talking as I usually do.
WA2JOE. WA2JOE. N2 HLX. November 2. Hotel Lima X-Ray. Ron. Beach Haven.
Okay.
No traffic.
Okay. Yeah, Ron usually comes in on DMR.
WA2JOE.
Oh, we've got two tonight.
WA2JOE, this is KC2GKP. Kilo Charlie 2. Golf Kilo Papa. Call in Tom's River. Portables, no traffic. Good evening. WA2JOE. Please copy. AA2BR. Alpha 2. Bravo Radio. Very Pleasant Beach.
So I always get tripped up by this. Paul, Golf Kilo Papa, has the same suffix as another station. And I don't key in on the prefix, just the suffix. And then by the time he's checked in, I forget his prefix.
Kilo Delta 2. Tango Zulu X-Ray. That's KD2 TZX. Analytics, no traffic.
So once again, I'm going to have to ask him to come back with his prefix, and then that'll get the log lined up. I'm not sure what the solution to that is. When you have two of the same suffixes, I have to mention that to Paul. Okay, we got a lot of DMR check-ins tonight, more than usual. So I'm going to consider this the end. I'm going to highlight that in red. Okay, very good. Hold it right there, stations. Hold it there, please. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Chris. Chris just said, Paul, Golf Kilo Papa, I'm sorry, I have to ask you to come back one more time with your call. I got to figure out how to deal with this because there's another GKP and it comes up bad on my database. Paul, GKP, come back with your full call, please. You know, I'm so used, Chris, to just typing in that suffix, and then by the time it goes by, my P-brain misses it.
Control, it's Kilo Charlie 2, Golf Kilo Papa. Kilo Charlie 2, Golf Kilo Papa.
Yeah, Chris, I see your comment. We're going to have to work on that. Excellent. Thank you so much, Paul. I do appreciate your patience. We'd like to acknowledge the following stations, all with no traffic. Our friend Ron in Beach Haven, N2 HLX, KC2 GKP. Paul, thank you for coming back. And AA2BR, Perry, down in Point Pleasant Beach. Perry, I think you're at the top of the Intercoastal Waterway, right? And KD2 TZX CJ in Livingston. All right, we're going to do one more call up for our fixed RF and base stations. Then we're going to pass some traffic. So any fixed stations, base stations, if you're sitting in the comfort of your shack with a fixed antenna, please call WA2JOE. So what I've done is I've given the people with traffic a heads up that they're coming next. I like to reassure people that I haven't forgotten about them. I know they're out there. It kind of keeps them with us, and it just gets them ready for that.
WA2JOE.
It's Owen.
WA2JOE, copy. Whiskey Bravo 2 Echo.
WB3, over to Brooklyn, New York. Zero traffic.
And while I try to keep the net moving in a relatively concise fashion, I also like to put at least
WA2,
a little bit of personalization in there.
Very
Here's
good evening
Jeff.
to you, Joe, and the net. This is NJ5R Jeff in Roselle Park with no traffic.
WA2JOE. WA2JOE, this is November 2, Mike, double X-ray, and 2MXX, Dave.
All right.
In Allison, New Jersey, no traffic. Good evening, sir.
So Dave, I know from early in the day. Usually he's on a much earlier in the day net. He's with another club, and he's written a really slick piece of logging software. Here's Bill, K3CBI. Get him on the list.
WA2JOE, this is Kilo 3, Charlie Bravo, India. K3CBI. Bill in Ortley Beach, no traffic, back to the net.
All right. Cash, we've got 1 second region that's accounted for.
WA2JOE.
Who's this?
WA2JOE, please copy. KD2, ZQM, Kilo Delta 2, Zulu Quebec Mike, Amarin, Jersey City. Good evening all. No traffic, back to the net.
All right, very good. We got Anne Marie in there too. I think the second region cache has been accounted for. The only thing left is KC2AES, who is
WA2JOE,
not checked in.
please copy November 2, November Juliet X-ray, and 2NGX, Mike in Long Valley, no traffic.
WA2JOE. WA2JOE, please copy. KC2NGH, Eddie in Mattawan, no traffic, requesting early secure.
Okay, so I'm going to make a note in the comments section early. Of course, the trick is to look at that comment section, and sometimes I don't. Yeah, so far things are going well.
WA2JOE.
Ah, the Cashman, Spider-Man.
WA2JOE, please copy Whiskey 2, Delta Oscar Sierra. That's W2DOS. The name is Cash, location Wall Township, Mom, Miss County. I have no traffic. A very good evening to you, Joe, and all that. Enjoying your live stream.
All right, Cash, we got you on the list. Excellent, thank you. Okay, got a pretty good. So we're up to 29 check-ins so far, except you know what? I forgot to put me in there. I usually put myself first at the very top, and I forgot to do that. But I was busy doing something else. Okay, I think we're pretty much at the end of this. All right, excellent call-up stations. Hold it right there, please. Hold it there. And so now I'm going to highlight that line in red. So now I go from you know, the end of the last group was in red, so I started this is just how I keep track of the groups. All right, excellent call up, guys. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking in. We'd like to acknowledge KD2DAM, Don in Basking Ridge, followed by WB2E, Owen in Brooklyn. Thank you for checking in. NJ5R, Jeff in Roselle Park. Jeff is, if I'm not doing it Sunday night, he's doing it. And we got a good thing going here, Jeff. He's a great net controller and it does a lot for the hobby. So thank you for being with us, Jeff. And 2MXX, Dave, what a very pleasant surprise coming in from Manalapan. Got you on the list, K3CBI. Bill down in Ortley Beach. Bill's one of our net controllers also. Bill runs a great net on these and other repeaters at 10 a.m. Eastern time in the morning. I love catching that net on the ride to work. We've got a bunch of good repeaters and great people around here in our area. KD2, ZQM, Anne Marie in Jersey City. Thank you for checking in. N2, NJX, Mike in Long Valley. KC2, NGH, Eddie in Mattawan, closely followed by W2DOS, Cash in Wall. Cash is one of our net controllers, high energy net, tough guy to keep up with, but good guy to have with us as a net controller. Thank you, Cash. Eddie in Mattawan, KC2NGH, you may secure. Okay, let's pass some traffic. Now, let's see. Ashley, you've got some second region traffic, and I'm going to ask Heather, KD2VZA, has very graciously agreed to take that traffic. So KD2VZA, reach out to K2ASH and let's pass some traffic. So I think the protocol is, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, is the person taking the traffic reaches out to the person who has traffic to say, I'm ready to take your traffic. I think that's how that goes. So now we're passing traffic. Now, this is the time I would take, if there was somebody new who is not in the database, I would take this time to look them up in QRZ, get them in, my local database, do any housekeeping, do some shopping on Amazon. No, I'm just kidding. So, I'm not going to talk over all the traffic, but I'm just going to say that for, in case you're wondering, my antennas. So from here, I have 1.5-inch conduit on standoffs attached to the side of the house, 1.5 of those attached. So the top of that mast is about 8 feet above the peak of the roof. So it's a good 30-35 feet above the ground. So at the top is a Diamond X200. That's a vertical 2-meter 440. It's about a 100-foot cable run from here to there. The 2-meter 440 radio has cable that is a LMR 400 equivalent. The loss figures are almost, not quite, but almost exactly the same, and it was a bit cheaper. So that's why I went with that. The ICOM, the HF radio, goes up to that same mast, and on that mast, there's a matching box for my end fed, which goes out to a couple of trees, and that's fed with RG8X. So in case you're wondering, I also have a weather station up there. I have a big honking TV antenna, and I have an FM radio antenna because I'm very old-fashioned. So it kind of looks like the roof of the embassy up there. All right, let's listen to the traffic.
Yours, special day. Initial X-ray, break for signature. 7-3, Ashley, K2ASH, how copy?
Ashley, could you please confirm the check, and you also have a city, state, and zip, over?
Check is 1-6, and the address is 5234 23 East Avenue, St. Francis, Minnesota. Figures 55070.
All right, Mr. Big Dave, who's that? Type in your call sign. Is that N2MXX, Dave? If you could type in your call sign, I see you in the comment.
And usually the 7-3 goes in with part of the text. It's not part of the signature. Do you want me to pop that up there and change the check to 1?
KD2ZRF. All right, Dave. Good, good. Yep. Okay, I see you there. Good. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate having you with us.
Thank you.
Tell your friends and family. Hit that subscribe button, everybody. Yeah, this is good. This is a lot of fun.
ASH, I roger your number 8 with a check of 15/16. Back to you, KD2VZA.
Okay, very good. Ashley, thanks for bringing traffic. Heather, thank you for taking traffic. Now, Kim, Kilo Yankee 2, Mike, please reach out to Fletch, K2MJF, and he has got traffic for Secaucus.
K2MJF, Kilo Yankee 2, Mike, ready.
Kilo Yankee 2, Mike, K2MJF. Please copy 29er23.
Fletch.
Routine.
Fletch, he's a hoot.
Hotel.
I always say K2MJF. That's MFJ spelled sideways, sort of.
India, Quebec, India. Figures 25. Pembroke. Initials Mike Alpha. March 3. Fred.
So In case you're wondering, I'll just say this is my weather station. I have a weather station up on the roof. This does tie into the internet. I'm on Weather Underground. This is my Midland weather radio that will give me my tornado warnings and severe. I'm also a Skywarn spotter and into that stuff too. What else? In case you're wondering where I got this, I made it. It's just a big piece of paper that I put the logo on. So I got my licenses and my phonetic alphabet up there and all kinds of stuff.
07094. Phone figures 201 864 5793. Break. Initial Alpha. Friendly reminder. Your amateur radio license expires April.
All right, so that was just me double checking the audio on the live stream. Yeah, YouTube makes this so easy these days. It's really, you don't need OBS, you don't need any special software. In case you're wondering,
Renew
I'll give you a list of my video equipment.
if not done so already.
ZV-E10 camera with
Need
Sigma.
your
What is this lens? It's the 18 to 50.
Break.
And it's a very fast lens. It's an f2. The lighting in here is awful. It doesn't look. What's happening is the light from the screen is causing it to iris down.
India. And 2923. How copy, Kim?
Roger 2923, KY2MMM.
Roger, thanks for taking the traffic, Kim. WA2JOE, K2MJF. Back to net, request early secure. I need to go get some more polar salsa.
Okay, Fletch. Okay. Fletch, thank you for sending traffic, and Kim, thank you for taking traffic. Fletch, you may secure to go and get yourself some more polar seltzer. Made in Worcester, Massachusetts. There you go. So excellent. So now I have a question. Chris, W3CJD, you've got traffic for KC2AES. Do you want to wait till the end of the call-ups to see if he comes, or what's your pleasure? Chris? Okay. Okay, well, we've temporarily lost Chris. So let's continue. Let's start with our general call-ups. So excellent. We passed some traffic. If anyone has any questions about traffic handling and what just happened here, please feel free to stick around post-net. There are lots of friendly, helpful folks here. So we're going to do our first general call-up. Any station, by any means, anyone with comments, questions, announcements, or corrections, please call WA2JOE, your net control station.
WA2JOE. WA2JOE, please copy. Whiskey Bravo 2. Lima, Mike Whiskey, Eric, portable in Westfield.
Okay, so we had some doubling there. Somebody got crushed. Let's see if he comes back. Okay, Chris, I see your note. You're going to just withdraw it if he doesn't check in. Okay, the net would like to acknowledge WB2 LMW, Eric in Westfield. Thank you for checking in, Eric. Good to have you with us. Would like to now have our next to last call-up, our penultimate call-up. Any station, by any means, anyone with comments, questions, announcements, or corrections, please call WA2JOE, your net control station.
WA2JOE.
Yeah, Chris, you got to pay attention. That happens to me too, and I'm running the net.
Alpha Lima uniform. Kurt, Manchester, no traffic.
I have the attention span of a housefly. I get so easily distracted. It's like, oh, it's my turn. All right, that's one of the things, net controllers. You gotta keep your head in the game. All right, so I gotta make sure and keep track of who I'm checking in. All right, so Sunday night, it's getting late. We did pass traffic. It tends to be a little lighter on Sunday nights. Okay, the net would like to acknowledge KE2ALU Curtis. Thank you, Curtis, for checking in. We sure do appreciate you having you with us. All right, last call, everybody. This is it, man. Last call. Any station by any means. Anyone with comments, questions, announcements, or corrections, please call WA2JOE, your net control station. We all work from a script, which makes it very easy. I tend to personalize it just a little bit, but nice to,
WA2JOE.
I want to make it a little friendly, All right, Fletch. Hey, I see your comment there, Fletch. Thank you so much.
No traffic.
All right, see, now I missed who that was. Okay, that last station, can you come back one more time, please? The call sign went by a little quick for me.
WA2JOE, that was Kilo Delta 2, Tango Whiskey Alpha, 82 TWA, Daniel in Somerset.
Yep. Okay, Dan, just out of curiosity, by what means are you checking in? It sounds like it's DMR, but I'm not sure. I'm just curious.
Affirmative, I'm on DMR.
Okay, yeah, so that explains the choppiness. All right, very good. The net acknowledges KD2TWA Daniel in Somerset. Thank you for checking in, my friend. All right, well, this has been a great net. Chris, just if you wouldn't mind making it official, are you going to withhold your traffic lacking the presence of KC2 AES? Please come back, W3CJD.
W3CJD helps to pay attention. I will withdraw the traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed it does. Chris, I was just talking to the folks on the live stream saying I have the attention span of a housefly. Anyway, okay, so the net has passed traffic and we're going to withhold traffic. Thank you for bringing traffic. That's what we're all about. And there will come a day, my friends, when we are going to need to be able to pass messages through RF on battery power. So this is really good practice. This has been the United Counties Traffic Net. This is WA2JOE, your net control station for this session of the United Counties Traffic Net. Thank you very much to all stations who checked in this evening. I'd like to thank the operators of the W2LI, W2NJR, and WA2JWR repeaters, as well as the fine folks at Echolink and DMR for the use of their systems, and thanks to those of you who are making various and sundry connections between all these systems. We do appreciate your efforts each and every night. The next net session will be tomorrow evening at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. The net is now closed at 10:40 p.m. Eastern Time, and the repeaters are now returned to normal amateur use. This is WA2JOE, Whiskey Alpha 2, Juliet Oscar Echo, and I will be monitoring for a little while. Good night, and God bless. So I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to give it maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes just to see if there's any late check-ins. Many times there are. I can start. W2LI repeater system. I can start to prepare my net report. It's just an email. I don't want to do the copy paste just yet, just in case someone checks in late. I'm going to take this and we are going to tack this back up on the wall. Start to clean up just a little bit. Okay.
K2JOE, K3CBI.
K3CBI, WA2JOE. Good evening, Bill.
Hey, Joe, that was cool. I tell you, that was nice. I finally figured out how to zero in on you. You know what I actually did? I saw some old footage of you, and that's what you guys were talking about. Okay, and now I picked up the live stream, so to speak. But that was good. Finally, I got a hold of it, and I enjoyed it very much. So kudos to you, bud. K3 CBI.
All right, excellent, Bill. I'm glad you found us. And by the way, that video, the first video you found from 2 or 3 years ago, there's a check-in. I think it's the first check-in is WA2NDA. So we have his voice preserved. We have a check-in from Ed preserved on that YouTube channel. I just discovered that a day or two ago. I meant to mention that. So there you go. All right, very good, Bill. I'll probably catch you in the morning. K3CBI, WA2JOE. So yeah, that's about it. So now what I'll do is... Okay, so now we got some people. They may have some questions. We're happy to have that. Go ahead, Suzanne. How are you doing tonight?
Yes, just wanted to say congratulations. I had the radio and the live feed going on. Very excellent presentation, and glad this is preserved for all eternity. W2QMI back to WA2JOE. Congratulations again.
Well, thank you, Suzanne. It was an awful lot of fun. You know, before starting the career 14 years ago that I have now as a pastor, I actually had 25 plus years in broadcast TV news. So video is a language that I know well. So, and I'm a teacher, so I love doing that. So thank you. And by the way, for all of you listening and watching, this video will be held on my YouTube channel. So it will stay there so we can use it as a resource. All right, very good, Suzanne. Talk to you soon. W2QMI from WA2JOE. All right, so I am now going to...
WA2JOE, KE2ALU here.
All right. KE2ALU, go ahead, sir.
Why don't you plug your viewing, the pictures?
Oh, oh, yeah, the photographs. Well, that's kind of a personal thing. So, you know, we do try to stick to traffic matters and radio matters. I do appreciate you thinking about me. Since the net is closed, I can say, for any of you who live in Monmouth County, there is an exhibit of my photographs at the Monmouth County Library branch in Manalapan. That's right off Route 9 and Sims Drive near the Target there. Manalapan Library, Monmouth County branch on Sims Drive. I'll be there at least through April and probably May. All of my photographs are on the wall. So there you go. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Very good. Thank you so much. WA2JOE. All right. So yeah, we talked about that. We talked about photography. It was either on the Monday morning net or somewhere else. Anyway, let me just close this out. So we had 32 check-ins. So I'm going to highlight that block with just and copy. I'm going to copy paste just the call signs, except you know what? I forgot to put me in there. JOE. Okay, there we go. Now, so 33 check-ins. Pretty good for a Sunday night. So copy. Now, down here, I'm in my email, and what I'm doing is I am going to go, I have a folder called UCTN. And so what I do is when I file my net report and I send it to Kim, I go to the sent mail, and it's in there, it's in the queue, and then I take the sent message and file it under the UCTN folder. I use Microsoft Outlook as a front end for my Gmail. It's just something I know. It's, you know, something that we use in corporate a lot. So I have Microsoft Office. So that's what I use as my client. So UCTN. Now what I'll do is I'll take the last net report that I filed, February 20th. I'll open that up. Maybe I'll show you this. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So this is the last net report that I filed. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit forward, and I'm going to put KY, and it comes up Kilo Yankee 2, Mike, Mike, Mike. Okay. And then I'm going to clean up the header a little bit, the subject line, get rid of that forward, that report, and we're going to change the date, March 5th. Oops. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do this. March 5th, 2023. Okay. And then I'm going to delete the header from the previous email because I like to keep it clean. You know, it's just the way I am. All right, traffic net report UCTN, and we change the date here to March 5th. Check-ins was 33. Now, this is the problem that I have is I forget how long it was. So now it's 47. I think it was like 41. Okay. No message. Oh, we had, let's see, 1 second region, 1 for Secaucus. We had 2 messages. Okay. So we actually passed 2 messages out of 3 presented. No announcements. Come on. I know this is really boring for you, but oops. Okay. No announcements. No comments. I think it was 41 minutes, right? That's enough. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do, you can see this is the old report. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to delete this. Okay, give myself a little space. And then right click, paste like this. Nope, like this. That's just the way it comes up. 73, and there's my signature and send. Okay, and then I'm going to close this message and I'm going to go to all the way up into the sent mail. And here it is. Okay. All right. So that's the message I just sent. Move to, oops, you're looking way up there. Sorry, my camera working. Move to UCTN. Okay. And there we go. Okay. So I am going to, I'm going to say goodbye in 73. It's been great having you with us. And maybe we'll do this again sometime. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. This is WA2JOE saying 7-3. And now I got to figure out how to stop this stream. All right. Give me a minute here. So that's actually over on this computer. Yeah. You're still watching? Okay. End stream. All right. Goodbye, everybody. 7-3.